Right, what did I say? When we spent that billion, what did I say? Conference League. That is what I want in return for the £1 billion investment. And if you seriously think that just because Chelsea have finally won 3 in a row, and just because it's now looking like we're going to get Conference League, possibly even Europa League, I'm going to get all gassed up and say that this has actually been a successful season, you thought absolutely right. Because Chelsea have won 3 in a row. Our captain's back. He showed us the quality and the class that we have been missing. Cole Palmer joins the company of Super Frankie Lampard and Harry Kane, becoming just the 3rd Englishman to score 20 plus goals and 10 plus assists in a 38-game Premier League season. Nicholas Jackson scores again. That takes his goal tally for the season to higher than, off the top of my head, who can I think of? Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, for example, he scored more than him, 2 more than Kai Havertz. So that's a very good thing. And it also means that after picking up the win yesterday, since Boxing Day, only 3 teams have accumulated more points than Chelsea. Those 3 teams being Man City, Arsenal and Liverpool. And despite all of that, all of the good news that I have just told you, I don't even think we played that well yesterday, but who cares? But before we get into it all and speak about yesterday's game, do me a massive favour. If you are new around here, this is the Joey Knight podcast. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to watch this sort of content. Smash the like button right now. I'd really appreciate that. Also, I am going to get in the studio with Josh and break down the game, I should say, in full. But today, I'm a little bit worse for wear. Some of you may have watched The Zone last night. Pretty eventful night on the old Misfits last night. Pretty eventful night. But we won't speak about that. We'll speak about Chelsea. Obviously, I watched the first half. The second half, I was live on air screaming my head off in Spanish, trying to speak to some little Argentinian melt. So, I didn't see the second half. Hands up. Holding my hands up. I didn't see the second half. I've obviously watched it back in full this morning. And do you know what? Going into that match, man, West Ham done us a massive favour, didn't they, really? Because despite, Nottingham Forest playing well, I do think that the pressure was off them because West Ham had pretty much consigned Luton to relegation. One of the guys I was at the show with last night, who boxed last night, Pully Arif, he's a Luton fan. He said to me, yeah, we've just been relegated. So, I with all the beers and whatnot, I hadn't even really realised it. But I always said before the game that if West Ham were to beat Luton, it would take the pressure off of us because Nottingham Forest wouldn't need that win. Had Luton won yesterday, I think we could have had a much harder game on our hands because maybe, Nottingham Forest would have known they'd have needed that win to make sure they steer clear of relegation. And the fact that Luton did lose and now it's like a 12-goal swing Nottingham Forest would need would maybe make you think that they would have been on the beach already. But if you did think that, you were wrong. 8 minutes into the game, Cole Palmer shows his class once again by threading through, I would say, one of the passes of the season, especially from this Chelsea side. 2 Forest players, he puts the weight on it perfectly, threads it through for Mykhailo Mudryk, who's running around the side, blistering pace, he gets onto it, he takes it really, really well. A class finish that had the away support celebrating and had Josh Aveste weak at the knees. Celebrations didn't last long though, did they? Because obviously Morgan Gibbs-White whips a ball to the back post shortly after that. It sort of looked to me like Nicholas Jackson lost his man. Not sure, you guys can tell me. You might think it was someone else. Gallagher runs over, he tries to get in the way of it. He actually gets something on it, probably to the detriment of Georgi Petrovic, if anything, because it took a little deflection. Might have made it a little bit harder to save, but either way, doesn't matter, man. We weren't getting to it. We go in at half-time, 1-1, and not long in to the second half, Pochettino proves a little bit more proactive than reactive, which is what I had sort of said he had been all season, and he starts chucking the big dogs back on. 10 minutes into the second half, we sub on Gusto and Nkunku, and the best is probably still to come. And in the 74th minute, things aren't looking good because some things in football are just written, aren't they? Obviously, myself and Josh, we did a short. Funny enough, they are written because we did a short comparing Mykhailo Mudryk to Callum Hudson-Odoi so far this season. Well, both of them scored. Callum Hudson-Odoi in the 74th minute scores against his old club. Great goal, great player, great grassroots coaching clearly on show there, I would say, from Callum Hudson-Odoi. But you don't need to thank us. You're welcome. You got him at a bargain price as well, so it doesn't sit well with me. But it didn't matter, because anything Callum Hudson-Odoi can do, Raheem Sterling can do even better. Because within about 5 minutes of Sterling being subbed on, he scores a beautiful finish. And then another sub comes up trumps for Chelsea when our leader, my favourite player, Reece James, pops up with the assist for Nicholas Jackson, who puts the header in, scores the winner, runs, jumps into the crowd, thinks, fuck it, I don't care about the yellow card, I will have it, just to celebrate with the travelling fans. And I tell you what, I love it. Nicholas Jackson, he is an enigma. I've said it all season, you know, he really, really is. He's erratic, sometimes immature, poor discipline, sometimes even petty. And I fucking love it. Because I've said from the start, man, Nicholas Jackson's such a handful for these Premier League defenders. Honestly, he's a nightmare, man. They don't know what to do with him. I don't even know what we do next season, you know? Like, do we keep him at number 9? If we can sign someone, do we move him over to the left wing? Mykhailo Mudryk would have something to say about that. So, I don't know. But it's nice to have options. It really, really is nice to have options. But one man I do want to give credit to here, and by the way, obviously, look, that's it. The game finishes 3-2 Chelsea. Did we play that well? No. Not really, weren't great, but at the same time, we got the job done away from home against a team that, 3 Chelsea managers have failed to beat now? I don't think we've won against Nottingham Forest since they've been in the league, you know. I was there last season away at Nottingham Forest. 1-1 draw. Sterling scored in that one as well. And, you know, Forest are a decent side. You got to remember, they've had a points deduction as well. They've been great. They're decent. They've got firepower up front. When you got a team that have Alanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi up front, and obviously Chris Wood, who's sort of, you know, Haaland 2.0. Yeah, you know, it can happen. But one man I do want to give credit to yesterday and every day I will give this man credit, and that is Moises Caicedo. He wins possession, he puts his body on the line, he runs his socks off, he's constantly trying to play positive balls, and he's got an eye for an assist, and he's also got an eye for an assist. You know the old assist? Love that one. Well, he did the assist yesterday, didn't he, when he fed Reece James. He also got an assist himself anyway. But yeah, man, the progressive balls, the balls where all of a sudden it sort of gets cut out in the middle of the park, and straight away Caicedo tries to put something over the top. He did it yesterday to Reece James advancing up that side, and it came up trumps. And I've said, you know, about where will Reece James fit into this team when he comes back, and if he is fit and available. And that's a question we have to ask. But, you know, we've looked at the delivery from Malo Gusto so far this season, and it's been brilliant. Malo Gusto's delivery, everything about Malo Gusto has been so good. But when you look at Reece James playing the way that he played when he came on yesterday, the delivery for the Nicholas Jackson chance, I don't know, man. Maybe we keep him at right back, and maybe Malo Gusto might move over at some point. Could Malo Gusto move over and be a left back, and us just permanently start a 3 in midfield that has Cucurella in there, you know? I don't think the inverted Cucurella worked all that well yesterday. Maybe that's harsh, maybe in comparison to other games gone by, but either way, man, so happy. I didn't think that it would take us until, the 36 game mark to finally record 3 straight wins. Obviously, I joked about it. You lot pulled me up in the comments. I know we didn't beat Aston Villa, but for me, it was a moral victory, and that is what counts, you know? But yeah, man, things going really well. And we look at the league table now, because we have really, really got to think about not just this season, but going forward, like, how good can this get for us? You know, I'm not even on about with a Victor Osimhen or any of the other big names we've been linked with, but just think about next season. Think about if we can have half the injuries. In an ideal world, no injuries. I mean, Arsenal have had, two injuries, 2 major injuries all season. We've had 12, 14 at times. But if you can think to next season and go, okay, we only ever have 2, 3 injuries at once. And I'm sure one of them will be Chile, and I'm sure one of them will be Reece, but I'm sure we'll get by. And then you look at it and you go, mate, Cole Palmer's put up, 30 goals and assists so far this season. Who's to say that, you know, Nicholas Jackson won't finish with 20. He's near that. He's near that now. If Nkunku was fit all of next season, would you back against him getting 20? I don't know. I would. But even if he got 15, Nicholas Jackson got 15, Noni Madueke got 15. I don't know. We need that number 9. I don't know, man. As I say, yesterday we didn't play great, but it sort of reminded me of the game against Palace, right? At Selhurst Park from this season, where we didn't play great. There was times when we looked like we might not win the game, but we got it done late. And the difference is, when we did it that time, our form was very, very patchy. And at the minute, small, albeit, but we are now getting momentum and consistency and form. 3 wins on the bounce. If you look at us since the turn of the year, yeah, we've had some shit defeats in there, but we ain't had that many defeats in there, and we've been fairly good, you know. And when we're looking at it and we're thinking, okay, we've got momentum now, these wins feel a lot better than the one against Palace did, because we have got the momentum and we've got something to build off. We know that the team are improving now. We're seeing bonds, we're seeing relationships formed, good spirit and patterns of play with lots of class. I wanted to see this from the start of the season, and it took so much longer, man. So much longer than I was prepared at some points to wait. But I do think like it's here now. And that's not me saying we won't take losses, you know. We're still going to take losses. But trust me, we're on to something here. We really are. It's a straight shootout now between us, Newcastle, Man United. But the advantage that we have is Newcastle and Man United have got to play each other. So, you know, I feel like Man United will drop points today against Arsenal. I suppose we need to hope for a draw in that one, really. The most important thing is Chelsea need to win both of our matches now. I believe we could take 4 points and possibly still even get Europa. But let's be honest here. Look, we're getting European football. But let's be honest. We want Europa rather than Conference League, really. I know it would be good to win another trophy that we haven't won before. But with this squad, with the momentum that we can hopefully push forward into next season, I think Europa League would be good for these boys, you know. And do you know what? The whole thing of, oh yeah, but if we're playing Thursdays, extra games, I don't care. I run a YouTube channel and benefit from Chelsea playing, so I want as many games as possible. But not only that, you know, this season we thought that playing once a week would benefit us, and it didn't. It done fuck all, really. So if we're sat there thinking, oh, maybe playing twice a week a lot of the time might be detrimental to us, probably won't. I don't know, man. We've got to be honest. I've used the momentum word a few times in this video, but momentum is what puts us up there with everyone at the minute. And despite yesterday us not playing well, if you look at us, we're playing some good football now, man. We really, really are. We're scoring some goals. We need to be more resolute at the back. I get we come off a couple of clean sheets and really good performances, but I do think we need to be more resolute at the back, especially going into this last part of the season. Newcastle have a much better goal difference than us. Is it much better? It's better. I don't know what it is. I haven't even looked at the table. I should have a look, really. But, you know, we've got 2 matches. We've got Reece, we've got Nkunku, we've got Malo Gusto, all back for these 2 crunch matches. We've got Raheem Sterling showing that he can contribute still, even if he isn't in the starting lineup. We've got Jackson and even Mudryk getting in amongst the goals. So I just think we need to see, man. I really do. But I do think that we're going to go away to Brighton, and I think we're going to beat Brighton. And the last day of the season against Bournemouth, we just got to do it, man. We got to do it. We've got to show some DNA here, because I get that the club's different, the ownership's different. I think the only thing the same is the fans and maybe 1 or 2 players, Reece James, Conor Gallagher, Trevor Chalobah. If rumours are to be believed, 2 of them might be going. So I get that it's all change. But in Chelsea's DNA, there is something that should see us through here. And that something, for me, is the fact that going back over the years, no matter what, no matter how our season was going, no matter how our form was, Chelsea Football Club would most definitely capitalise on this situation, no matter how we've been playing all season. If we had a bad season, but by hook or by crook at the end of that season there was a chance to save it, we'd usually do that. And that's what I think we need to do. People, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Just a quick one from me today, because I'm going to get in the studio with Josh. We're going to bang out some content for you. We're in the studio, I think, twice this week, Tuesday and Thursday. And then, by the way, if you're boxing fans, Saturday night, me and Brian and Loza Al-Sweki and a few other guys, I don't know who else will be on it, but there'll be a few of us on there. We'll be on the Pain Game doing the live watch-along for Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk. And as a big Tyson Fury fan, I'm absolutely shitting myself for that one. So make sure you're headed over there watching that one. We'll be in the studio. Let me know in the comment section below what you want to see from the channel this week. I will see you all in the next one.